Hello crafty friends, this is the Papered Chef here. In today's Brother ScanNCut tips and tricks video, I'm going to show you how to resize built-in patterns using your Brother ScanNCut SDX 125. Let's get started. This is your home screen, we're going to go into pattern, and then you have all these categories. We want the second category with the Eiffel Tower and leaf. And now, I would like to tell you, we're going to the third row, this one with the little rocking horse and heart. And then I want to tell you that I dedicate this video to my team member, Debbie. She wrote me and said, and we're going up to 1, 2, 3, 4. We're going to the holly, AR dash, I guess that's an I or a 1, 1004. She wrote me and said, I have to make 400 little snowman gifts. She's making 400 little curvy keepsake boxes with little snowman hats. And she said, I've been hand cutting holly. And I said, you are hand cutting? She had done some stamping. She was cutting it with scissors and she was making holly for her hats. And I said, wait, we have Brother ScanNCuts. We both do. So now I'm dedicating this to her because she can save a lot of time by making holly using the Brother ScanNCut. So the question is, how small can you make this holly? Well, this means, the width and height are in proportion, and I'm just going to take the width, for example, and see how small we can get it. Or you could go to the height or width, but my stylus is missing in action, so we're just going to the width so my finger's not in the way. And it'll go 1.3 inches wide. Okay. Now if you take our Snowman Builder Punch and you look at the hat, and you're like, well, okay, the hat's only 3/4 of an inch wide. So I can't have holly that's bigger than my hat itself. What this is showing you is the different pieces of this image. So this one is showing you the left piece of the holly. This is the right piece. This is the bottom piece. These are the little berries. Okay, this is the background as a whole. Let's just pick one piece of holly, click it, put it on the screen, and we're going to say set. Okay, now let me zoom in to show you where we're at, and I'll go back and review that again. Now, these are inches now. This is inches on my screen. This is a snowman hat. It's 3/4 of an inch. Well, how can I have one piece of holly that's that big on a hat? Okay, we need to make it smaller. But let's just, first of all, before we make it smaller, we're going to say, okay, we're going to add another piece to it. So like add, and let's take this piece of holly here. Okay, let's add that. And let's just set that on the mat. Okay, now we have 2 pieces. That's enough because we could add 3 pieces, but this is enough for the lesson. What we want to do is we can do a couple things. We can take these and we can group them together, and then I can resize them so that they're both only small enough to fit on this hat, and then we can make extras of them. Okay, so let's go through those steps. So all I've done so far is I've used a built-in pattern. I added it to the mat. I've taken just the green parts of it, the 2 pieces of holly. I could have taken more. If you want to take more, you go to add. So now we have 2 pieces of holly on the screen. Let's do this. Let's go to edit, and let's select both of those. The way you select them is using the selection tools here, the 3 little selection squares. And this one is selecting everything. This one on the right, circle and triangle. So we select everything. Now we say okay. Now we can go to object edit, and we can group those 2 together. So let's group them. Same little shape actually, circle, triangle. So now we have them grouped, and now I'm going to zoom in. See, they're pretty big. So again, the hat's 3/4 of an inch. Now we have about 1.5 inches full of wide and a 3/4 of an inch tall. So that's too big. So let's go in and we can say object edit. And now in the object edit, we can scale these down together. So we go to the first one, which is scaling, and we can scale them down. Now let's use the height and just go maybe a quarter of an inch high. Okay, 1/4 of an inch high will be good. They'll be small enough. And then what you do is after you do that, I just want to zoom in to show you. And that was just with the experiment. I thought that was a good size. I mean, you don't want them to disappear on your mat. Okay, so there. So now I'm putting them. Now, did you notice? I just tried to put them all the way up in the corner. Brother ScanNCut doesn't, even when it says it cuts 12 by 12, it doesn't cut all the way out to the edge of the mat. So that's as far to the left as you can get them. In fact, just for good measure, don't go too far to the left. Go maybe right there. So now we have that. So now my friend Deborah wants to make, let's say hundreds of these. Okay, she can go in and she can go to Object Edit, and you could go to plus sign, and I don't know, we're only going to make a few sets. Here, there's 3. And you could do other things like in other tips and tricks videos and classes and things. I do talk about how to use every editing tool, but this one, let's just say we're going to just line them up, just to save a little paper. We're just going to put those up there, okay, up on the top. And I could use the editing tools to align them even better, but you get the idea. So we've made a few of them. Okay, so now we can cut those. I'm going to say okay. Now let's just zoom in. You see what we have. I need to put a little piece of paper, and I could make them all line better in a row, but now this is just for this lesson. I'm going to take a piece of green cardstock. Now I tried this with Designer Series paper, just so you know. Designer Series paper, Stampin' Up! Designer Series paper did not hold up with objects this small. And the reason is because Designer Series paper has an inner white core. And when you try to cut something with an inner white core that's that small, the little white part of the paper will come apart. But when you use our cardstock, it's colored all the way through, and it works great for cutting really tiny things. Okay, so this is a piece of Call Me Clover. And now what I did is, this is after learning my lesson, again, experimentation, I said, well, why did I use glue when I have these sticker sheets? I have these little sticker sheets. Okay, and these sticker sheets are double-sided. And we sell them at Stampin' Up, but they're made by Sizzix, and they're like little sticker sheets, double-sided. So I'm going to go like this. I'm going to peel off the sticker. So one side, this is still sticky. Okay, these are double-sided sticker sheets. Okay, so now I'm just peel it off, and I'm going to put it on the back of the cardstock. In other words, this is how to make your own stickers. Because I'm like, why was I using glue with my holly when I could have made my own stickers, right? I was like, why was I using glue? But I'll show you my result. My glue didn't come out bad, and then to cover up my flaws, I just used a little glitter over the top of it. But glue was really hard to work with on something this tiny. Okay, so now I have this sticker sheet. I didn't peel off this side yet. You don't peel off the back of your sticker yet. That's for later. We're just putting this on the mat. Okay, cardstock face up, sticker down. I'm putting that in the top left of my mat. In fact, here, let's just show you that. We say okay. I'm just going to load. My mat's already loaded. I'll just show you what. See, I'm putting the sticker side down. See, let's show you that here. Here you go. Sticker paper down. Also, when you're cutting really tiny things, and just for good measure, you may want to use some painter's tape to hold your cardstock in place, because this could slip. These are tiny objects. Okay, so let's get back to where we are, so the screen. So now you saw that. All right, so now we're going to say okay. We're going to say okay, and we're going to select cut. Okay, because we want to cut these out. And I could have aligned them better, but I would need my stylus. Okay, so let's just say start, and we're just going to cut out the holly, the auto blade. So you may be wondering, well, why am I not using a half cut? Because I have stickers. I use a half cut setting. That's when I'm cutting vinyl, and that would leave the sticker part on the back. In this case, I'm using cardstock. I really want it to make sure it cuts cleanly through the cardstock, so I'm using just the regular default settings with the auto blade. And then I can use a little, and try to, instead of using your hand, you can sort of lift up the holly with a little tool. Okay, so now it's done cutting. I'm gonna just, I don't know, it looks like it's still cutting. Oh, okay. What happened is it determined, and it didn't do this last time. I guess it determined my cardstock was kind of thick, and it's now going back and cutting it a second time. Whenever the auto blade determines something is thick, it cuts it more than once. So now we're just going to say, we're not going to finish yet, and I'm not removing the mat yet. Okay, I just want to take these. I just want to show you now that I can take the little stickers. Okay, and some of them, stick on the mat. Doesn't matter. These turn into stickers. Let me put them right there. These are hard to. Okay, so see, there's still a little sticker backing on there. Oh, you can't see. Okay, so there's one that's loose, and there's a little sticker. So you use your little pokey tool, and you just peel the sticker back off. See, this is a sticker backing. Okay, I hope I'm in focus here. No, it's kind of bright. Sorry it's so bright. All right, but let's just show you that. So I was working with the glue, and I said, oh, no more glue. Let me just use my little pokey tool, and I can get these little sticker backings off. And really, I didn't want to do a half cut or a kiss cut because I needed the cardstock to be cut all the way through it cleanly. Look at that. I have a sticker now. How cool is that? Now, just for effect, I would usually use a black hat, and so did Debbie. I'm just using a white hat to show you how cute that is and show you how the holly fits on the hat. Okay, I'm going to do one more. And, you know, because when I did put the green, I was using a different color, a different shade of green earlier, which I'll get over when I share my project. And I was like, the green wasn't showing up on the black very well because there was no contrast. So that's why I decided to let me just show my crafty friends a white hat, even though snowman hats are not white. Okay, so, but you know, you might have a white hat for something else. Okay, there's the second one, sticker on the back, and I want to do it something like this. Okay, and maybe like that. Okay, so now I have my 2 little holly leaves. You can make 3 if you want. In fact, you probably would make 3, but this is just for teaching purposes, and now I'm going to go ahead and do the next part. All right, so I have a couple pieces of holly. I'm just taking them off the mat, and they're still ready. They're still, you know, good stickers. I'm putting them right here. So now it says select the next part. So the reason I didn't do it all together was because I need a different color now for my next part. So it's saying select the next part. So what I want to do now is cut the holly berries. Yes, I know I'm daring, right? The holly berries are really tiny to work with. Okay, so I'm going to click on a couple holly berries, say okay. Let's say okay, set. And then there's already 2 of them. Let's go add one more holly berry. And we'll add that. Okay, so now we have these little tiny, tiny, tiny berries. Oops, sorry, let's not skip any steps. Okay, I'm just trying to zoom in is what I was trying to do. Zooming in. Okay, so when I left them this size, nope, they were too big and I ended up using them as buttons. So, which is good because now you can get your buttons if you need little buttons because that's good. However, we need them to be a little smaller. So we're going to we're going to group them here, select them all, group, okay, and I'm going to say okay. And now we're going to go to edit. Okay, edit. We want to do object edit, and I think I group them together. Okay, now they're grouped together. So now we can do object edit where they're grouped together, and I'm just going to scale them down. So let's see how small we can get them. Okay, I just want to show you how small the ScanNCut goes because I was curious. Oh, I already showed you earlier. It goes to 0.6, 6/100ths of an inch. Woo, that was too small, right? For these little berries. So maybe about 1/10 of an inch, which is, I mean, that's small, but that seemed to work. Okay, so it seemed to work for my berries. Say okay. Say okay. So we have tiny berries, 1/10 of an inch. This will be in the description, the settings I used in the description of this video. Okay, so now it's saying select, and we're going to cut, and this time we're going to use a piece of cherry cobbler. Okay, cherry cobbler is good for the berries. And of course, I'm only sacrificing a piece of, sticker paper to show you this, but really, honestly, I would have cut a bunch more at once. Whenever you're doing projects like this, mass produce, here's a little sticker piece, mass produce, do a lot of projects at once to save yourself time. So let's put the little sticker on the back here. This is a review. Oops, that's not the part we need. This is the sticker part, double-sided sticker sheets. I'm turning the paper over, so I need the sticker on this side. Okay, there. So I put the sticker on that side. I'm turning it over, right, because the berries are going to cut out this way. So I'm putting that on the mat. You know how to put things on the mat if you've been watching my channel. So start. Again, use painter's tape, or else in my case, I'm literally holding my finger there so these don't slip. Instead of painter's tape, you can sort of hold your finger on the cardstock so it doesn't slip. It's determining how deep to cut the berries. And then it's going back twice, it looks like. But it doesn't really need to, so if you want it to stop, you could say quit cutting. I don't think it needs to go back through twice because I think it was already, they were already cleanly cut, so it didn't need to go back through twice. Okay, so let's put them, now I got to get them. They're down on the mat. I'm just grabbing them with my little tiny spatula. I can't believe I'm even daring to work with something this small, but it came out cuter than I expected. So there they are, and the first time I did this, I used glue. So now I'm trying to use my little pointy tool, my little, and these little stickers. Okay, so they come, and you might, you still might need glue. Let's say that sticker, sometimes glue works better. Okay, but there's a little sticker, and I'm gonna take it off with the little pokey tool, just so you can't, just don't want you to miss anything. Okay, and then I might do the other one with glue because I think I dropped it. And then I'm just dropping it on there. Oops, there goes my hat. There goes my berry. Okay, here we go. Back up here. Okay, there we go. And you might need, you still might need, yep, you might need glue for these because they're just really tiny and hard to work with. But I did use glue earlier, but then it kind of got gobbed up. Okay, let's see if we can get one berry to stick. Come on, berry. Berry, Merry Christmas. Okay, there. Got a berry to stick. And see if I get the other one's already lost in my machine. All right, so now I'm going to show you my project. So that's, you would do that, and I'd probably glue or it did stick, but I think I flipped it over. Use sticker paper, use glue, use whatever you got. In fact, the glitter will make them stick a little better. But that is how small you want them, if you want them for your little snowman hats. And they do have a little snowman hat, of course, stamp in our set. We have a stamp set called Snowman Season, and he already has little holly on his hat, and you can color it. This is if you want the holly to be more 3D. All right, so my project I made using this concept. So I did all the holly as small as I could. Then I took this paper here. It was from last year's Santa's Workshop Designer Series paper. And at first I cut these little candy canes out with an outline distance, and then they started overlapping. So when you have really small patterns, don't use an outline distance, just cut them as is. Scan this in and cut them out directly on the line without an outline distance. So I had these little candy canes, and this is what I came up with. With this tiny holly and tiny candy canes, I created a project using that concept. So here, let's put this up here, and then I'm going to show you the materials I used. I used some retired Stampin' Up items. All right, so because I used glue, it started gobbing up. So on my little snowman, and I had big blobs of glue, which you probably do need for those little tiny berries. And then what I did is I added glitter glue on top of those to make it shine and to kind of get rid of the residue. And then I added glitter on all these little candy canes I cut out, on the little candy cane down here on his hand, and then I can explain the materials I used. But there are those candy canes without the outline distance that I cut out. Okay, so that's the card, and I used products from, this is a current product coming out September 4th in our holiday catalog. Okay, in fact, I did other tutorials on the Snowman Builder Punch, so be sure to check that out as well. I want to just show you the materials I used. I was doing other projects, and I had this paper out, okay, and I was using it for something else. I was making arrows for a door sign, but then I said, oh, this paper, it matches my new set. So this paper's from last year. Some of you may have it. It's retired. It was called How Sweet It Is Designer Series paper. On one side is the sweeted, these sweet little things, and on the other side is this Coastal Cabana paper. Well, Coastal Cabana is what matches my little buttons that I used. These are called name something enamel dots. Glitter enamel dots. Okay, glitter enamel dots. We have these now currently, and so this is retired paper. So then what I did is I was looking at our suite and the suite from last year. So I said, this Santa's Workshop has Poppy Parade in it. So I took this paper here from Santa's Workshop. That's this paper here. It's flocked, meaning it's fuzzy. So I like the whole 3D look. Fuzzy, and it has like bows on the other side. So some of you may have this paper. In fact, use whatever you have. Just coordinate your colors. It's all my point is of this. So then I took that's this Poppy Parade, and then these are little stickers I had from last year, which were part of the Memories and More. These were little stickers I had. I had stickers for glitter, snowflakes, and I had these little borders, and that's how I made this little border. Garden Green is the color that was coordinating with this Santa's Workshop. So that's Garden Green border, and this is a glitter border. And then I cut the holly out of the hat using Garden Green. Okay, you could use the stamp. I don't like using the stamp from the already Snowman season set, because I like 3D. I like when you embellish in 3D, and I like objects to layer on top of each other. So I like the way that this holly came out better using the garden green cardstock and the little holly berries. And then I just used, for this one, for the Let It Snow, oh, and then Blueberry Bushel. This is Blueberry Bushel. That's the coordinating color in the new suite coming out. The new suite, Let It Snow, I'll be doing so much with it when it comes out on September 4th. I'm so excited about it. But anyway, this is the Let It Snow. So I took Blueberry Bushel ink. I took the Let It Snow, I punched it out with a pretty label punch in white, just white paper actually. And then I just put it on a layer of black cardstock. So that's how I made this entire card. You can feel free to case the card. Case means C-A-S-E, copy and share everything. Case the card, give me credit. Please link back to my blog, thepaperedchef.com. And thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed this tutorial on how to make tiny, tiny little embellishments using your Brother ScanNCut SDX 125. Same things applies on other models. You can use this skill for any model of machine that you have. Bye for now. This is the Papered Chef.